called, do you know? It's some real neat place. I'm going to find out what it is. Take my daughter. So I'm not a shopper. I'm a shoplifter. No, not really. I just want to see if you're paying attention. The only thing I ever stole when I was 5 years old, it's true confession, I went to the A&P food store on my way to kindergarten, and I saw a candy bar, and I like that kind of candy bar, I still do. It's a Hershey's. I love Hershey's candy bars. I eat one every now and then, like every now. And I love Hershey's. And when I'm buried, I like to be buried with Pepsi-Cola, a Hershey bar, and a warm Krispy Kreme donut. And then I thought it could be a bus promotion for my bus route. We've had days unbelievable. We've had high days on our bus route, literally. The highest day I ever had, my husband was the bus director for 35 years at First Baptist, and he was my director, and he gave me a goal of 200. And I said, we talk with our faces. Did you know that? You're all so quiet. You want to know my sin, right? That's what you're all looking at. And he said, yours is 200. I said, 200? 200? He said, with an attitude like that, you'd be blessed to have 50. So I took that as a challenge. Oh, did I take that as a challenge. And he gave me an extra bus. That was gracious of him. And so I ran a piggyback bus. It's a long story. But I just asked everybody and their brother to help me for one day. Just one day, help me on my bus route. It's the same route I'm on now, 44 years. And I said, oh, Lord, give us 200. Give us 200. We had a bus washing party the night before, and I had pizza from Papa John's. And we had the best old time for everybody. Had a great, like a spirit setter. And we had decorated the bus. We had a harvest theme that particular day. And then he said, if you doubled your bus route, you got to have pizza. So I ended up getting my pizza paid for, but he gave me a route of a base of 200. And I thought, 200. God, give us 200. God, give us 200. God, give us 200. Oh, please give us, oh, God, give us 200. You know what I mean? And ended up that day, I'd ride the front bus. My route is right next to the church, directly north of the church. I'd ride the front bus. As soon as it filled up, I'd go to the church, wait for the second bus, jump on the second bus, and we went around. We had it all mapped out. We came in that day, North Hammond, Indiana, with 653 riders. And 128 people walked the aisle and professed Jesus Christ as their Savior. And he had to buy the pizza. The most horrible thing, though, is getting ready to go home, we had two buses. And so Brother John Francis, who's our B bus director, he actually loaned me a Chicago bus drivers, and they helped us drive them home. But, you know, that's what I'm kind of talking about today, not kind of just root for the home team. I want to be a rooter for people, an encourager for people, wins and losses. You're going to have losses. You are going to have losses. I've had losses in the bus ministry. I've had children that, one particular day, I had my ears pierced. And I was kind of proud of it because I was always leery of having it done. You know, if God wanted me to have pierced ears, he would have made me that way. And I thought, oh, come on, Jojo, you know, I just didn't want to have that, you know, a needle poked through my ear. And because things happen to me weird, always. So I had both ears pierced, and I had this particular earring hoop on it, kind of like this, but longer. And I had one of the bus kids on my lap, and I was just jiggling. And as we got to church, I had an off-white suit on that day. My husband greeted the buses as we came in. And I remember I was jiggling the little baby, like having fun with the baby, just like up and down. And the baby lost its footing and got a hold of my earring and ripped it out of my ear. If you are familiar with any kind of facial injuries, blood, it looked like I'd been shot. You know, and I'll never forget, it ruined my outfit for sure. But, you know, the first time I was on a bus route, an interesting thing was I rooting for my home team. I was. But I was a professional model. You have to understand my background wasn't exactly poor. My mom and dad had 5 businesses. They were very successful people. I didn't know we had money because they worked us like dogs, and I'm so glad. You know, I didn't know we had money. And so I never associated to know what people were that were poor. I went to private school, private dance, they gave us the best of everything. That's what they thought was the best. Voice, accordion, because JoJo was on the side of the accordion. I kind of liked my name, but until I realized I had to carry that thing, you know. But I loved it. I just loved it. And yet my mom and dad taught us so much character. They taught us so much character. I didn't know we had money until I just realized later in life. And when I got on a bus route, you have to understand how different it was. I was homecoming queen my senior year of high school, and from that I ran for Miss City of Whiting. I was Miss City of Whiting 1964. From that I ran for Miss Indiana. I was runner-up for Miss Indiana 1964-65. I got into the world, and I could have been destroyed. Do you know what I'm saying? My life. And I'll never forget how God just took my life and just twisted it and turned it. And I am so grateful for it. I got on a bus route the first time with an off-white silk blend suit with red accessories. Not because what are you going to wear to church? Something you received overseas, a gift I received. And I thought, I'll wear it to church. This is wonderful. And a little baby got on the bus, and I didn't want to hold the baby. The baby looked so dirty and smelled, and it had a wet diaper and wet gray shirt and matted hair. And I thought, and there was no other seats. And I sat on the end. And I thought, you snob. Do you ever talk to yourself? There's nothing wrong with talking to yourself. It's when you talk to yourself and you answer yourself and you change your voice. You are in trouble. Do you know what I mean? If you go, oh, why did I do that? You know exactly why you did that. I do not. Yes, you do. No, I don't. You might have a problem. And the day that little baby, I talked to myself and I said, you snob, what are you doing? Take that baby and put it on your lap. One who loves this little baby. And I looked deep in the eyes, and that baby, as I look deep in eyes with people, wonder what they're going through. You treat people different. Everybody has hurts, heartaches. Why do we wound them more so? And so I started just playing with the little baby and having such a good time. And all of a sudden I felt something warm. And I thought, do I have a fever? On my lap. And that baby that day baptized me into the bus ministry. You'll have all kinds of stories that are wins and losses. On the bus route one particular day in the ministry, and I encourage the ministry like I can't tell you. That's rooting for people. I was on my bus route, came in, and I have a irregular heartbeat. They just found that out also. It's amazing when you go in. I'm just so excited about my new blood work. I said, I have an irregular heart. They didn't want to do surgery on me because I'm high risk. And I said, but I need the knee done. And if I die, I'm going to heaven. Please do something about the knee. Took high risk on me, and I did real well. The other knee's going also now. My little grandson, I said, my knee's gone. He goes, None, I know it's right under your skirt. I know it's right there. He couldn't understand my logic at all. But you're going to have things like that that'll occur in your life that are hurts. I arrived on the bus route one particular Sunday, and my face, I guess, was beet red. And my husband, who's a director again, said, Jojo, what's wrong? I said, nothing. If someone says that to you after a while, you begin to think, is something wrong? He goes, your face is beat red. Are you something wrong? And my heart was just 180 beats a minute. It was beating. That's kind of fast, I guess. And so it was just, he says, we're going to the hospital. He never reacts that way. I get to the hospital. I was short a couple candy bars on my bus route. If you promote something and you don't provide it, you're a liar to these kids. They're lied to all the time. I go between the services, right after the service, I go buy more candy bars. Like tonight, I promoted Golden State, Golden Girls. I'm having candy bars for all of them tonight. So I'll be out shoplifting, getting candy bars. Walmart, I could probably do a lot of work there, right? Shopping. And but that particular day, he took me to the hospital. All I'm thinking about in the emergency room, St. Margaret's Hospital, where all 6 of our children were born. I'm in there. What do you think I'm thinking about? The candy bars. And I said, Lord, I've got to get back. They came in and said, you're having what they call a tachycardia. I said, okay, fine. Is there something I could take, like an Excedrin or something? No, that's caffeine. I said, okay, I need to get back. I'm a bus captain. The doctor said, you don't look like a bus driver. I said, I'm not a bus driver. I'm a bus captain. I'm responsible for a whole route. And I said, Lord, please. Lord, what do I do? Please, at that emergency, send somebody. I kid you not. Right then, a lady from our church had also come in, was leaving. She says, Jojo, I didn't know you were here. Do you need anything? Candy bars? Can you get candy bars? Get them to Route 32? And she took the candy bars that morning. I ended up in the hospital. I cannot explain it to you. I'm laying in this bed Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all with a tachycardia. And there's other things, issues. I have, what is this thing called? Aorta. They said it's all totally encased in plaque. It's a time bomb. And I said, well, just take it out. He said, the Mayo Clinic. He said, aren't you a teacher? I said, I want to teach health. He goes, obviously. I said, just take the aorta out. I thought it was like tonsils, you know. And he said, you need it to live. I said, well, then keep it in. And it's just like, similar if you're a nurse, like what do you call it? Like an aorta, not aorta, what do you call it? An aneurysm, very similar. But not exactly, but kind of. It's all encased in plaque. So I don't think much about it, but I do what they tell me to do. What did I say? Did I say something pathetic? Did I say? I'm always afraid I said did I say a bad word? Because I don't think of bad words. Anyway, so the doctor said, we've got to get this checked out. We've got to get this all checked. This is all the stuff I go through. I kid you not. And so I'm in the hospital having this done. Every test they did turned out wrong. They'd have to redo it. So finally he said, we have found the problem. I said, oh, great. He said, you have a stone blocking a duct. I said, I've never eaten duck in my life, and now I've got a duck in there? I mean, I'm just thinking, I have a duck that's blocked? They said, not a duck, a duct. I said, of course. I said, a stone is blocking the duct. I said, yeah. So we need to do an ultrasound. I said, okay, great. They messed up the order on the ultrasound. It's now Thursday. Finally, I'm not eating, getting ready for this. They came down at noon and said, we're so sorry. There was a misunderstanding. I said, I want to go home. Not that one exactly, unless it's time, but I want to go home. And I called down to the ultrasound department, talked to a girl named Pam. And I said, Pam, the ultrasound head? She goes, yes. I said, do you know how to do these? She says, everyone's gone. I said, but do you know how to do them? She goes, I no longer do these anymore. I said, would you do it for me? I have many homeless children at my house right now, my own children, and a husband starving, and I need to get back to work. Please, would you? She says, all right. Do you ever have someone do a test that's already uncomfortable, and she's doing it, putting this kind of stick thing, I don't know what it was, this wand on this gluey stuff, and I'm real good at describing it. All right, so they put this, and they're wanding like this, and she's going harder. And I said, what's wrong? And she said, this is so confusing. And I said, why? She gets a doctor on the phone. The doctor comes in. He comes in and he does it. I said, you don't want to do this, do you? I'm so sorry. And she says, I just don't. And I said, there's a reason all this happened. I said, Pam, if you died today, do you know for sure you'd go to heaven? She goes, that's what I had thought you were. You're one of those people. And she's now really pushing. And I said, if you don't mind, I'm going to pray out loud. And so she's wanding me, and I'm saying, dear Jesus, please, Lord, take this duck away. Not duck. Not the duck. Don't take the duck. Take the stone out of that duck's mouth, wherever it is. And just show her what a great, I'm praying this out loud. Take that, show her the great God you are, and take this stone away out of the duck. And Lord, if you choose not to, I know the reason I'm here is to let Pam know, first of all she needs to know when she's a sinner, and the penalty for sin is death or hell, and Jesus Christ died on the cross and paid the price of dying. He suffered and died and bled on behalf of our sins and took our sins upon himself. And all she needs to do is trust Jesus, trust you, and she can go to heaven. And tears, I'm not joking, are coming down my face. She says, I don't understand this. And it was like watching Count Dracula's mother come to life, And I said, I need to go get the doctor. So he came in and does it. I thought, you guys really don't like me, do you? He gets Dr. Dennis Streeter. I promise you, I have witnesses to all of this. Dr. Streeter says, Jojo, have you heard the news? I said, now they found a monkey in my stomach. They're going to tell me I'm sure. All right. She goes, no, that stone is gone. And that Pam looked frightened. She said, what did you pray? I said, I prayed God would take that stone away and show you what a great God he is. And if not, I'd be willing to go through surgery that you'd get saved. And she said, how can I get saved? I have goosebumps talking about it. She bowed her head and asked Jesus Christ to be her Savior. We're going up in the elevator, and normally they have an aide that takes you up. She says, I'd like to push you up to the room. I said, sure. And I'm excited. I'm going home. And she has a new heavenly home. And we got up there, and a lady was visiting. Mrs. Stiller was there. I still remember. And while in the elevator, she said, Jojo Moffitt, can I ask you a question? I said, sure. She said, just the two of us were in there. "Are you an angel?" Well, somehow I pictured my husband's face, and I thought, no, I'm not an angel. We got to our room, and my room, and when I got there, this lady, Mrs. Stiller, was there, and she says, how are you doing, Jojo? I said, I get to go home in Munster. I get to go home. And this girl is still bewildered, and she said, can I ask you something? Do you know her? She said, oh, yeah, she's one of my teachers at the college. She said, is she an angel? And she said, we think so. Well, you know I'm not. But isn't that special? Folks, and that was a hard time to be rooting and cheering. But I want you to cheer for each other. Cheer for the people around you. Cheer, encourage people. And I just jotted down a few things that I thought might help you. To me, when you cheer, it's a person who's bubbly. They radiate a glow. They're happy. They smile a lot. Don't you gravitate toward people that are upbeat? And don't you think I have times that are hard? To have to bury 2 of my babies was pretty hard. My husband be diagnosed with cancer 10 years ago was pretty hard. To have him go through 4 surgeries, and the 3rd surgery they told us had to bring the family in because there was a good chance of mortality, of fatality. He'll die at Mayo Clinic. He was fitted with a stoma. The cancer, when they took the cancer out, they left most of it, the cancer place where he had it done. We went to Mayo Clinic, and no one wanted to touch him. They did not want to touch him. It was just a high risk. They told us he probably would be fitted for a stoma to remove the colon area, and it was unreal. And it didn't give him much hope at all. The kids all came up to Mayo to meet us. We all stayed, I remember, in one room overnight because they were trying to save money. And we had a good time, but a very heavy heart. And when they went in, what they had done also by mistake, they left the cancer, but they took his sphincter by mistake, which controls the bladder. So he no longer has bladder control. He has to wear a catheter the rest of his life because of a fluke in surgery. You know what? It's not made us bitter. It's made us hopefully better. And I'll never forget all that, the blessings that went on. The blessings when we went to go to oncology, radiology. They got him in Mayo because of me, because I'm under the transplant team. So I was able to get him in if I went through it first. Oh, great. Here we go again. Sure enough. Well, we found out something new. The aorta is encased in plaque, and it appears you have kidney bladder cancer. And I just started crying. And he said, are you crying because of your husband having cancer? I said, no. I'm crying because who's going to take care of him? Probably a short, cute blonde with a southern accent. And somebody more patient. No, I want to take care of him because I love him better every day. And through that, we left there, and I had to go through an internal testing done. I'll never forget it. They had to go inside of me while I was awake through the bladder, and it ended up being a false reading because of my kidney disease. I don't have cancer. Oh, we're rejoicing as we're now on our way to radiology, oncology, to get him fitted for a device because of his cancer. We stopped to hear the piano playing, and boy, was God rooting for us. Heavy hearts, if you know what I'm saying, yet rejoicing. It's how you look at anything, ladies. It's how you look at it, no matter what God. That's my book. That's all. In fact, I brought one story she asked me to. I thought I'd tell. It's just full of stories to encourage your heart, to make you laugh. And they're all heavy situations turned around. The beginning, honoring people who several have already gone on to heaven. I'm glad I did it before they died. We're on our way to oncology, radiology. I had just had this, and I was a little uncomfortable, but that's fine. I've gone through many different things. So we're standing there, have the big grand piano there. And I said, Roy, I love music, good music. And I said, could we just stop and listen to a song? Could we? He said, sure, Jojo. We had his arm was around me and my arm around him, and not like this yet, but and they started playing, of all things, the song that I sang for my mother in kindergarten is You Are My Sunshine. But my mom never showed up because she was always real busy. And that day when she didn't show up, a heavy day, I didn't feel like anybody was cheering for me. I remember my mom was a wonderful lady, don't get me wrong, but she just was real busy. And she just wasn't able to attend. So I was supposed to stand singing the lead in my little dress with my sunshine hat and have our hands like this. You're supposed to look at your mom, Christy, like you'd be my mom, but the seat was empty. And I started crying at 5 years old, thinking, oh, she's not here. And my teacher, who wasn't really that pretty, Miss Pritchard, I still remember her, she wore a bun, and glasses and had a big, big nose with a wart on it. And I thought she was beautiful because she went like this. Jojo, Jojo, don't look there. Look at me and smile. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. And when I was stopped at the Mayo Clinic second floor balcony with my husband getting ready to go get him fitted for a device for cancer treatment, the lady of all things starts playing, You Are My Sunshine. You know, can you imagine us? I saw it, you know. And then his song as a little boy that he likes is Happy Trails to You until we meet again. I kid you not. I said, let's listen to just one more song, Roy. Let's do it. Happy Trail. Now he's... You can find such joy in people cheering for you when you're going through some of the roughest times. I want to be the cheerleader, don't you? I learned something. I'm learning something from Brother Hiles. He said, you haven't helped somebody till you're first inconvenienced. But when you love somebody, you don't even know you've been inconvenienced. If I'm inconvenienced in anything I'm doing, and I know as you travel, you get less sleep, and you definitely pay more for people doing my classes and doing the different things. You know, it's all part of what I want to do. And to leave my husband, I left my husband with 2 good meals, favorite meals of, well, what was it called? It's a beef that you put pepperoncinis in it and onions in it, and you cook it, and it's delicious. And homemade tacos. You see, ladies, if my plane goes down, I want his new wife to know I took care of him. I changed the sheets before I left. I sprayed my perfume on his side because I want not enough to asphyxiate him or anything like that, you know, but enough for him to remember. Jojo, he always say, I always feel like you're here. Yeah, he's already called me this morning, and we've missed connections. A cheerleader's enthusiastic. She's happy. She has a winning spirit. She's a joy spreader. She fakes it till she makes it. Sometimes, I'm not asking you to be a fake, but don't you need to sometimes just kind of put down some of how you feel? I mean, you would not, every time you see me, how are you? That and then you know, you're going to go, God bless you. You want to listen to people. But if I'm a fake, I hide how I feel. I have over 100 kidney stones. They are totally closing up my kidneys. It's very similar to a knife being pushed in and just moved, and you can't get your breath. And then the body doesn't work. It's just blood and clots. And it's wonderful. But you know what? I can't change it. He can. And if he chooses not, I plan to live until I die. And that's why I'm here. Be a joy spreader. Fake it till you made it. We all need cheerleaders, don't we? You be a winner. You're a winner in God's book. You know, be enthusiastic. Enthusiasm, if you look it up in Webster's dictionary, part of the meaning says a keen, intense interest. I'm not a balloons birdie. Carol's not here. Balloons are great, but I'm not one that goes, yeah, it's a party. You know, I mean, when it's for me, I die. Well, I don't die again, but when I die, that's not how I'm going to die. But I mean, it's just the idea, I'm not a party person, but I go for you. Oh, I love going to your parties, but give a party for me. And you feel so funny, but you just say, thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, it's so much fun. Thank you so much that you're having a good time. And I love it. I'm having a 50th birthday party for our son who's handicapped. The Lord willing, he will be 50 years old, October 22nd. We were told when he was born with an enlarged kidney, liver, spleen, heart. He's had 33 major surgeries. He's 49 years old, and he'll never marry. He'll never marry. He's had brain damage in the motor system. He has one of the best spirits you'd ever meet in the whole wide world. This is Roy. And if you'd ever say, it's really warm outside today, he said, just think, God gave us the sunshine. Yes. We had snow about 16 to 20 inches last week. And I said, wow, the snow. Isn't it great, Mom? Let's go out and build a snowman. I mean, I've done that. I'll take my college classes out we lay on the ground and make angels, because I've always wanted to be an angel. Not really. But you can make good out of the heavy times and just have a winning spirit. You're going to have rough times. Your words are powerful, ladies. My next session talks about the tongue and how you can encourage your family, how you can encourage people more so through words. Give praise, give honor, give a gift of words. James 3:10 says, out of the same mouth proceedeth blessing and cursing. My brethren, this ought not so to be. Be kind, be kind, be kind, be kind, be kind. It's in the scriptures. I'll be on next session. I'm reading a portion of that. To be kind to people that are unkind, that appear unkind. We don't know what they're going through. When the 9/11 situation happened, you may have heard this, but when the 9/11 situation happened, I promise you, I was supposed to fly to Washington, D.C., where it crashed right after that, 2 weeks. If you notice, everything was detained for a while. My first flight, where do you think I'm going? Washington, D.C. It was unbelievable. If you could have gone and seen people at the Midway Airport, everyone was like this, skeptical of everybody. And it was packed. On the way to the airport, I said to my husband, I said, I was real quiet. I said, Roy, I think I'm going to die today. He goes, what? I thought he'd be alarmed or start crying or something, and you're going to die today? I said, I think I will. The plane's going to go down. He said, are you prayed up? Do you know for sure you're going to heaven? No empathy whatsoever. Do you know for sure if you died, you go to heaven? I said, yeah, but if the plane crashed, when I die, I want to be surprised. He said, George, if you crash, you will be surprised. It was real comfort. I get to the airport, I get there, and I'm seated there, and all of a sudden a man walks by with a turban on. I went, no. Oh, it wouldn't be on the plane I'm on, right? Wrong. I go to the restroom, wash my hands. I go into my seat. The only seat left is my seat on the end, middle of the thing, and right next to me. Oh, it wasn't any of the other planes. He's next to me. Next to me. I said, hello. He goes, hello. And as we're getting ready to leave, he starts to get out of his seat. I said, no way. There's no way I'm letting this guy pass me. I put my hand on the seat in front of me, and I said, what do you need? He said, water. I said, I buzzed the stewardess, and I said, this man, he wants to get water. She was looking at me like she was concerned about me. She came back with the water. You think he'd be happy? No. I said, here's your water. He said, I need to use the restroom. I went, yeah, right. Okay, and here's me. I'm thinking all the time. The front or middle. If he went to the front, the pilot. He should go to the back. If this is not the murderer, the killer, he'd go to the back, right? I stepped out. He started the front. I took off after him as fast as I could go. I stood in front of the cockpit door like this. He was in there the longest time. And finally he came out. He says, I thought you would be here. I sat the rest of the... He looked scared of me. He sat there like this. Stay. When the plane landed, I was so happy. I started leaving, and the pilot came out and talked to the stewardess, and he said, this is the lady? On behalf of the entire flight crew and of all the passengers, we want to thank you for saving our plane. No problem. Thank you. You're welcome anytime. Do you know I got a free round-trip ticket out of that, too? Don't you go do that the next time, please. Don't do that. But, girls, you're going to have the times. You've got to root for each other, wins and losses. When my husband was diagnosed with cancer, and that's what Carol asked me to share that. Remember last, it's in here. This tells the story. I'll never forget it as long as I live. He was diagnosed on July 4th, and I'll never forget it. He said they'd let us know in a week, which was Thursday. 4th of July was Wednesday. And we got a call. That's when you left the messages and the button would beep red. And I thought, I wonder who's calling us on 4th of July. We always went to the 4th of July parade, which he hates, but he goes to help me, make me happy because I like parades. And so he got back and it said, this is Dr. Uni's office. We need to talk to Mr. Moffitt regarding options. He had the treatment, not the treatment, the biopsy the day before. The week before. I'll never forget it as long as I live. He just kind of got a funny look, and he went upstairs, and he said he cried. And I went and sat in a chair, and I just cried, and I cried. And I thought, oh, God, he's yours. God, you don't understand. Yes, you do. We're Moffitt and Moffitt. We're a team. We're a team, and we are. In everything we do, we're a team. And, I mean, he's my high school sweetheart. I've been dating him, girls, 55 years. It's getting serious. My daughter-in-law sat with me, and I cried, and I got it out. You need to, by the way. You need to have a release valve, just like you need to have a release valve for problems. My way of doing it is I take the left hand, representing the right hand of God. I put the problem here. God, I can't do this, but you can if you choose to. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. I originated that song. Not really. And he said, he came downstairs. He hates parades. There was another parade in our hometown that I always want to go to two, but he only goes to one. He says, everybody get ready. We're going to the parade. I went, the parade, yes. We got our chairs and started off. We saw a policeman at the end of the row there. And I said, hey, are you Officer Strbiak? He says, no, I'm not, but I know who you are, Jojo. I said to my kids, don't even look at him. Just keep walking. You know, we turned the corner, sat down. The parade was already beginning. And all of a sudden, a whole group came by from a church. And they were in a cage, not a church, it was a Hammond Tigers, a high school, 50th class reunion, Tigers in a cage. It was made like a cage. The people in there looked like they were about 420 years old. They were seated and they had a megaphone. And the guy who was the lead man, here we're all seated. I had my red, white, and blue shirt on with all my children, my husband, just hearing my husband has cancer. And they go by. First of all, we were hot. We didn't have time to grab water. I said, oh, Lord, I wish we had water. A church walked by with ice-cold bottles of water, pivoted off the whole parade, didn't go anywhere but right directly to our family and gave every one of us a bottle of water. Thank you, God. And left, went back to the parade. You say, oh, that was coincidental. Then the float came by. Here's the man with a megaphone. 2 bits, 4 bits, 6 bits, $1, promoting their 50th anniversary. $1 off for the Tigers. If you can stand, holler. Oh, I lost it. I am just, God bless them, you know. And then all of a sudden, he looks directly over where I was seated while the float's going by with many, many people. He says, hey, you, honey, with the red, white, and blue stripe. Remember when you and I dated in high school? I thought, what? If you hadn't married that guy next to you, you could have been on this float today. A crisis day in my life. But keep on cheering. I wish, if anything, I could do today is encourage your heart. Don't quit. Don't quit. Keep on keeping on. Let's root for the home team. Home team is wherever you are. This is home right now to me. Do you know that? And by the way, I love California. I do. The only thing I don't like is earthquakes. I was only been in one. That was one too many. On the 17th floor of a building. And the elevators shut down. And I thought, I'm going to die. No, I didn't die, by the way. I'm here. And again, but just to share one thing. You know, take the crisis. When my husband was diagnosed with cancer, I can't explain. Before that morning, we were going to go have, and both these stories are in this book. That's what Carol asked me to tell. That morning, he's having his biopsy. It was a funny day. And I knew his count had just skyrocketed, his cancer count, his PSA. And I knew we were in for trouble. I just knew it. I sensed it. And yet I didn't want to believe it almost, you know. And I'll never forget that day as long as I live, as I was helping take care of him to get him ready for the procedure. And there was a little packet, a little plastic packet that said, for pain management. I thought, I missed it. I missed this pain management, and my husband's going to have this done, and I didn't take care of him. And I always want to be rooting. My husband, my children, my pastor, whoever, root for them. And that day, I called the office under much stress, and I said, hello, this is Jojo Moffitt. My husband's scheduled to have an autopsy at your place this afternoon, and I'd like to make him as comfortable as possible during the procedure. Ma'am, we don't usually do autopsies. They're usually done at the morgue. I thought, oh, I didn't mean an autopsy. Isn't that funny? No, it wasn't. And I got in the office that afternoon and taking Roy, and he went to use the restroom, and I thought, they're going to forget this. I remember them sliding that door open. And I said, there were 3 of them with computers. And I said, hello, my name's Jojo Moffitt. And I thought, oh, what an idiot, you know. And I said, you all remember the name, huh? And he said, not many caring wives, not only call to schedule an autopsy, but want to make them comfortable during the proceedings. Would you root for each other? Root for your husband. Root for the home team. I don't plan to quit. How about you? We have a 10-minute break, and then if you're staying here, that's wonderful. If you're going somewhere else, it's okay if you hate me. And no, you go, you plan to go. I want you to have a wonderful time. God bless you, ladies. It's been a joy to talk to you.